Hi, and welcome to our podcast, Learning Leading Now, where we talk all things education and Mobile County Public Schools. I'm your host, Director of Communication, Renee Phillips, joined by
Sally Erickson, Community Engagement Specialist.
And our special guest of today,
Bill Meredith, Principal of the Bryant Career Tech Center.
Welcome. We're glad to have you.
Glad to be here. It's a great time, great honor to be here to talk to you guys.
Yeah. So we are parents, we are educators in the school system. You're the educator, we're the communicators. But we like to talk about things going on. We've had an exciting start to the year, 2024. It's great. In my house, my son got his permit.
Oh,
so he's learning how to drive.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's fun. That was scarier than I ever thought that would be.
Well, yeah, it's going to get more expensive as it goes along here.
Especially for boys and insurance.
That's right.
But that's reminding me of the last time I visited you guys down at the Bryant Career Technical Center, and you were teaching students how to drive tractors.
We sure were. We had an equipment rodeo. We had tractors and track hoes and backhoes and bulldozers, all kinds of stuff. We had the state of Alabama came in from the Green Portal and wanted to put on a rodeo. So we came down. We had people from Baldwin County. We had people from as far as way as Andalusia came down that day to drive and learn how to ride stuff. You know, it's such a in-demand industry that we want to get kids on it and get them involved as soon as possible so they kind of get an interest in it.
That's great, because we talk about hands-on learning a lot around here, and that was definitely hands-on.
That sure is. I mean, everything we do at the Bryant Center is hands-on, so you know, we try to cover all safety aspects, but then we're going to let them get on because it's part of what you do. So, we have a heavy equipment class at our school, so we let kids drive things, and our kids were the best at all the schools, I thought. The Bryant Center had the best students there that day. So
you're only a little partial, right?
Yeah, I'm very partial, so, and I'm very competitive. So I thought we did a nice job. And we do appreciate all the people, the sponsors that came out and helped do that. That was really a big deal to our students.
And that was neat, too, because you had some of them who were more experienced driving the tractors, and then you had some that it was their first or second time.
Well, you got to remember, our FFA has, in the state of Alabama, nationally has a tractor driving competition. A lot of people don't realize that. And, I was a football coach for years, and people were competitive in sports, but there are people who are just as competitive in that event. So the first FFA event I ever did was I judged a tractor driving contest, and it was a really big deal to those students, and they have to pass a lot of the written tests, and then they pick the county winner. Then we go and we do regionals, and then we do a state competition, and they have a national competition. So, it is a big deal, and to those kids who are competing in that, they want to make a show that day, and so it gets very competitive, and teachers get very competitive, and I didn't realize that till I got into it.
So is there a written test to that as well as a road course?
It is a written test, and the test goes over just certain parts of tractors, and there's a parts identification in which you have to go in through and tell what parts of the tractor, and then you get on the tractor itself, and you have to go through a course and back up certain distances. So it's a lot more difficult than people would think. And I've been driving a tractor since I was about 6 years old, and I didn't do well the first time I went through there. So it's a great thing, and the kids really like to prepare for it.
Well, and that's what, as a parent, I had to remind myself, you didn't just wake up one day and know how to drive a car or a tractor. You have to practice.
That's exactly right. So that's what we do. And, we take in 5 schools. So Davison, Bryant, BC Rain, Theodore, and Baker. So we get kids from way out in West Mobile, and we get them from the inner city. And some of them have never been around anything like that, and they get very excited to see it and be a part of it. And some of them are very natural at it. We've had kids who have never driven anything and got on a track hoe and are just a natural feel for it. So to give them, to expose them, people, you'd be surprised. We've probably placed 3 students who had never driven anything who are now driving in dirt pits and for a plumbing company. So it's a great thing for them to be able to get out there and do those things.
And it prepares them for jobs. They can make money.
That's right. And the reason why we put that in was we had industry come to us. People don't realize they come to me and they say, hey, we need this. And so we had several of them met with us and said, hey, we have to have heavy equipment operators. We don't have enough. And so At that time, Mr. Mouton came in, we bought simulators, and then, we have really pushed that program to where we're turning out a lot now, and we don't have enough students to fill the jobs that people are asking for.
Well, next year I'm going to drive a tractor. I was not in the right shoes, but next year I'm going to wear some sturdier shoes.
Yeah, so you and Dr. Brackens is the same way. She came out one year to our FFA day and was going to drive a little mini Traco, and she was in the same boat. So I think the next time she may dress better for that day as well.
We're going to do it. Sally, you want to come down and drive a tractor with us?
I've always wanted to drive a tractor.
Well, yeah,
But the last time I saw Mr. Meredith was at the Signature Academy Showcase, and so I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about some of the questions that you got from students and parents at the showcase.
Well, I'm a big proponent of the Signature Academies just because we do offer so many things that parents just don't know about. The one thing we often get at the Bryant Center, and it's after people graduate, or parents, they go, "We didn't know you guys offered that." They didn't know we offer 15 different programs. So we're able to show that, and our high schools are able to show that what they offer. You don't ever think about if somebody wants to be in marine biology. Bryant High School has a great oystering program that kids can be a part of. So, I'm kind of old school. I went to the school I went to. Times are changing, and so kids are out and parents are looking for the best avenue for their students. But for us, we were able to go out and answer a lot of questions about what we offer, when you can come, those type things, what schools come to us. We have two centers here in Mobile between us and Faulkner. So, there's different, they come, hey, I'm going to Murphy, what school would I go to? And we have to explain those type things and just include the programs that we have.
Because one thing it does, the Signature Academies, each high school has one. It's a specialty. Like Bryant High School, not to be confused with Career Tech Center, has the coastal studies. We have aviation aerospace at BC Rain. We have engineering, law, all kinds of things, healthcare. But now what you do is you offer the similar programs. So no matter what high school you go to, you can go to either Faulkner or Bryant and participate in some very unique programs.
We sure do. With a new schedule where you can be a completer. For us in 1 year, we offer 3 classes in the morning, 3 classes in the afternoon. So, anybody, regardless of what academy you pick, can come out to us. And so we have a lot of people. They don't come to us now till they're juniors. So we take juniors and seniors. So a lot of people may come in the 9th grade and say, I'm going to do A, and then they get into it and they go, we want to do B at the Bryant Center. So we're always available. We're out there recruiting. And this month's a big month for us to let us know. We go out to the high schools and show our recruiting video, and then we have them tour. And again, getting kids to know what we have is just important. And that's the biggest thing. Our counselor, and everybody, our academy specialists, help us at their high school. They promote us as well because we're an extension of the high school. So that's what we're doing this month. We're trying to promote ourselves and get kids to know what we have, and the school system's trying to do that, just as we're doing here, to make sure people know that it's out there.
Well, on one of my recent visits to Bryant Career Tech, I was impressed watching the students building a ramp for the disabled at one of the classrooms. So that was the sort of activity where it was very hands-on, and they also had a real taste of what it was like to build something in compliance. So even if they weren't interested in really getting into woodworking skills as a career, you learn a lot from doing a project like that, all different aspects.
Well, if you've ever heard me speak, I always say this, I ask people how they make money, and most people don't know. They just go, well, you work. Well, that's not the answer. You make money because people pay you for your time. We say, like sand through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives. Your time is valuable. And the hourglass, the more sand's on the bottom than on top, it really goes fast, as we're all learning. But people pay you for your time, and your time is valuable because you have a skill. So you have to ask yourself, what can you do that people would pay you money for? And so that's what we try to answer. Your plumbing goes out, you have a backed up drain in your house, you pay a lot, $70 an hour for a plumber. When your air conditioner goes out in the middle of the summer, you pay a lot of money. So we try to answer that question about the skills needed to make money. And in today's world, if a student walks across that stage and he cannot answer that, what can you do then we failed them as a school system because we haven't prepared them. So that's what we try to do in all aspects. They may not be carpenters when they leave, but we've got them interested. We have them in something that they could advance in, and that's the way. That's our goal, and that's what Mr. Threadgill wants to have happen. That's what our school board wants, and that's what we want. We want people who are out in our communities being productive people. So, we do hands-on projects, and we hold them accountable. We do simulated workplace where, kids that was part of their project, to research it, to find out how to do it, to make them think. It involves math skills, English skills, reading. Everything goes in because we make them read and write. I'll say this to you as plainly as I can. If you can't read and write and you're in our world, we see it more than anyone else, because if you can't fill out the documentation when you go to Evonik, or you can't read the books that have to be done and handle that, you'll only be a menial employee because you can't rise above. So we understand. We make our students do those type things so they learn how to read the handicap parts of a ramp, and we make them write when it's completed. So they have to learn those skills, or they just won't advance in their craft.
The technical reading.
That's
There's
right.
a field that's music to mine and Sally's ears, as we're both writers. We're like, yes, read and write, read and write.
That's
It's so
right.
important, because there's a field where people can become technical writers too and write those manuals. And
Well, yeah, sure, sure. You got to have an idea what you're talking about, and so there's so many jobs available. Just you think, well, I'm out here taking carpentry at the Bryant Center, but as you say, you learn you get into writing, and it's something that you get into and see that part of it. We do a lot of computer skills. Even if you take manufacturing, there we do a CNC machine that is all about. You have to learn to program it. You have to do all the hard parts, and so it's not just a matter of what I would say. You're just out there, building something or hitting a hammer on a board. Everything we do has a purpose.
a lot of math too, huh?
Lots of
Lots of
math.
math.
That ramp that we built. You have different angles, so you have to go up so many inches per feet to meet the requirements. Then you have to do all the angles. The wheelchairs and things have to have a certain amount of space, so you have to go through all that. So it may take us, that wheelchair ramp or that ramp took us probably 3 months, where we could have probably built it in a week. But by the time you go through all the stuff and taking stuff down when it's not right, and you let kids make mistakes, the teacher doesn't do it for them. They make mistakes, and we have to tear it back down. So sometimes things are twice as expensive because that's what we do. But that's what learning's not cheap, and that's why we're hands-on and do those type things.
Well, and y'all recently had a partnership with Bellingrath Gardens where the students worked on restoring the little bridge in the Asian American garden. Can you tell us a little bit about how that was brought together? I thought that was a really neat partnership.
Well, we love Bellingrath Gardens, and with what we do with horticulture and turf and everything we have, we try to do as much. We did with Todd Lassane, the person, the man who's in charge of Bellingrath. We try to get with them, and they try to pick us stuff that we can do. So we went down, and he said, hey, we're having some issues with the Asian garden. So we went down, and we had some rotten boards that we had to fix. So we ran them through the CNC machine, but they had to go in and draw them. They had to, we bought 5 sheets of aluminum plate. And
well, it was really pretty. It was a really pretty design.
We lost probably 3 sheets because we messed up, but we had to do as they wanted because they're very particular at Bellingrath Garden. So then we had to go down and put it up and come back and fix it and all the types of things that go on. So it took us all spring, but that was something we enjoy. And we're working on other things with Bellingrath. Just to make sure that we're a part of what they do, because it's a treasure here in Mobile. So if we can help them, we're going to do everything we possibly can.
I think that's great.
Yes,
And the other thing I was dying to ask you about, I wanted to tell you how impressed I was with Jennifer Woods, who is the Bryant Career Technical Center's Teacher of the Year. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the new things she's been doing at Bryant Career Tech?
Well, she's over our education and training class. Well, this started because, I don't know if y'all know this, but there's a teacher shortage. And so
Why, yes, that's why we do the fair.
that's right. So we want to get kids when they're young. We want to catch students who have an interest, because you know what? People don't know how to get to a job, and you have a lot of students who would want to be teachers, and they don't know how to get to it. They don't know what to do. So we started that this year. Dr. White really wanted to make sure we included that. So we have several, or I think there's 2 other additional teaching and learning units throughout our county. But Jennifer came over. She'd been an elementary school teacher for, I'm not going to name because it may give her age away, but she was my son's elementary teacher, and she was great there. And so we were very fortunate to get her over, and she's came over and just with a breath of fresh air to come in, and she's in an outdoor classroom where we will actually bring in elementary students, and the people within the class will go through and teach the outdoor classroom. That will be the unit they teach. So it lets the kids come to our campus. It lets the students, they'll have to do lesson plans, all the things necessary to be the teach the units for the class. And so that's what she's doing, and it's really good. You know, we try to tell people, if you want to be a coach, you want to find out how to be a PE teacher, it takes in all those type things, so we get you started in education. We want to try to make sure we get them a substitute license, so maybe as soon as they graduate, we can have them here in our county. I have all kinds of ideas like that, but Ms. Trigger probably wouldn't give me the budget to do all I'd like to do, but that's a great program. She's a really good teacher. We're excited to have her.
Which that's cool, because that's what we talk about. We want to prepare kids for jobs that are available. And it used to be that it was hard to get a teaching job, but now we have a shortage nationwide. Yes. And so we need high quality people to study education and to come back to Mobile or to stay in Mobile and, and teach.
You know, we had Joe Bullard came out. We had Joe Bullard School a few years ago. They were short mechanics. So they come out and they said, what can we do? And I said, let me tell you something. Everybody's after our students. Everybody, the military, colleges, everybody wants a student. It's a different world. I would love to be this in school now, because they're actually seeking you to be a good an employee. So we started them where they came in and took 4 kids, and now all 4 are employed at Joe Bullard right now, and they went through our automotive program. So the same thing with teaching. If we don't start and find that 10th or 11th grade male, female that wants to be a teacher, we're missing out, because there's some who would do it if they just knew how to get there. And so the thing is getting parents to understand, and getting the community to understand what we offer and how important it is to make sure you get your child there young. I say this all the time. My son is a great opera singer. He has a degree from South and can sing it as good as anybody. Well, he doesn't do that now. He got his 4-year degree. He's got his certification to be a pilot. And so, you know, that's what he actually can get paid a bunch for. And so as we go through, and what we're trying to do, we want to make sure that parents understand we got to have a path, where we're trying to go, what we can do. Because I guess my point is, we have an aviation program. It's through Coastal Community College, which they get college credit, and you get your A&P license, which is your license to work on aircraft. So if you go through that, you're going to be very well off very quick. But the thing that people don't understand is that we have it, that it's free, that Coastal's there, and 1 year out of high school, if you take it your junior and senior year, and you go through the summer, it's all free. 1 year out, you can have your A&P license, and you've invested nothing into a career, which makes a lot more than, well, I'm going to say you and I make. So no offense. I don't know what you guys make, but they do very well.
Well, I enjoyed meeting a couple of the Joe Bullard interns, because what struck me was just how incredibly happy they were. They love working on cars. They love working on engines, all of the technical stuff. And they were getting to work on incredibly expensive machines. And they had all kinds of experts right there to help them if they needed it. They were so happy. It was really neat.
That's a good career, because you're talking earlier about what will people pay you for. I've had to get a lot of car repairs done lately, and they're not cheap.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's when you wish you had a skill. Like, could I just do that? Never. But
Yeah,
you know,
if you
but
don't know how to
having that
do it, it
talent-
costs money. In
Yes.
today's world, if you don't know how to fix it, it costs money. So, yeah, the days of being, I'm going to call it where you get greasy working on cars, those days are over with. When you go to Joe Bullard, the floor is as clean as this one here.
Oh
So,
yeah, it was a beautiful facility.
so it's you have to be really intelligent to work on the cars now. It's somebody who's very well motivated. They make a lot of money, and so they got those kids early. And I have a lot of thankful parents because let me tell you, you have a young son, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You know what you want to know? What is he going to do? Don't tell me about where I'm going to college. All that's great. But
Right.
when is he going to get off where I'm not paying for what everything he's doing? So that's what you want to do. What is my son going to do? And we have so many things we answer that question. So those parents, when they were juniors in high school, they got into Joe Bullard School. That was already answered for them. If you'll go to school, finish up, you're going to go out and you'll have a career. And Joe Bullard sent them to the rest of their complete some certification they need, bought their tools. And so that's answers that as juniors. And so many parents don't know their kids can be 24, 25 and still don't know what they're going to end up doing. So that's what really we try to do and answer a lot of those questions.
Well, I was hoping you could tell us a little bit about the history of Bryant Career Tech because I kind of think I think of it as just kind of a little isolated school in terms of, I think maybe a lot of our parents don't really know about it and what y'all do. But I remember you referred to it once as the farm.
Sure.
So I know it goes way back. Can you tell us a little bit about how it started out?
Well, sure. I'll tell you a little bit about George Bryant is actually Miss Peake's, I think it's Miss Peake's cousin. Or,
no, Alma Bryant was her aunt.
Yep, and
Okay.
George Bryant was all kin. He was an art teacher down at Albert one time. So, yeah, he was dear to that part of that community. But the Bryant Center started in 1976, and it was called the Farm. And we started moving programs from the high school, like most schools had all their programs, at Central, Alba, Grand Bay, Baker, whatever, Murphy, they had their own programs. And they started the centers then, and the Bryant started in 76 as the Farm. When I went to school, it was still called the Farm. And, we've had different schedules, the amount of time you've been. Sometimes it's been one period, they send you back. Now we're a little bit different in the length of time that you go. But along the way, as Career Tech has grown, it's changed dramatically in the last few years. As it's grown, the Bryant Center's changed. And so, we've have cosmetology, we have health science, we have
Welding.
We have so many things besides just the horticulture part of it. So, getting the kids to understand that it's a big deal. So, that's it's an exciting time and good things going on there.
Because the students can go, they can drive or take a bus. We provide transportation.
Well, yes, we did that. We started that a couple years ago. We, the great thing about it is when you can drive there, it makes it a lot easier for people who are coming from all areas. So instead of like driving to Baker, you can drive to the Bryant Center and then go back home. So, if you're going to Baker or all these schools with these big traffic problems, you don't have to be there in the morning, or when you go back, or in the afternoon, you don't have to deal with getting in and out of the parking lot. So, we probably have around 150 kids drive in the daytime. We probably have 100 in the morning or so, maybe more than that now. But we have a lot of kids drive or ride the bus over. And so we always have buses there. We do a lot of field trip. We have buses placed there. So, our kids come 3 periods. They leave in the middle of the day and go back to their home school. And then we get another group in the afternoon.
Right. But such great things. So we touched on all the programs. We said the welding, the carpentry,
Furniture.
the mechanics. Oh yeah, you can buy. I bought a swing from you guys.
We sure do. That's part of our carpentry class. He does a lot of other things, and people know us for our swings and things. But he was Mr. Rogers, which he has 29 years as a teacher. Great teacher out there. But he builds all kinds of porch swings, picnic tables, all type of different things. But we have construction, cosmetology. We actually have a science class out there that we science/math class because if people are playing sports, I think I really want people to understand this with the 7 periods now. If you're playing a sport, with that, people think that limits you from coming to the Bryant Center, but we offer the math and science credit. That way you could take 2 periods with us, take the math or science with us, and then go back to your home school and still be in your sport or your extracurricular
Marching
activity.
band, probably.
Marching band. So we've worked through that. You know, we have 2 health sciences. We have HVAC. We have plumbing, pipe fitting. We have welding. We have aviation, small engines, automotive, turf management. We have horticulture. We have electrical. Let's see. Thinking off the cuff here, just to make sure we've got everybody. I think that is everybody that we have. So, we've got it's a great place to be. I go into a lot of shops and do a lot of work during the day. Yeah.
And are you still doing the camp for the girls?
We haven't. We're supposed to start that back this year. COVID kind of got us. Alabama Power's kind of been out of our sponsors, been out of pocket this year, but we're in discussion of making sure we do that again this year. I also want to have where. We're trying to get a little thing, professional development for teachers, where we could have something during the summer where maybe we come through and teach, how to change a tire or, how to fix something in the toilet, the things that all go wrong, something that's our teachers can teach. So we're always busy trying to keep something where we're giving knowledge to people. So we're working on those type of things.
And I've been to a couple of healthcare classes there too. Y'all are still doing that, right?
We sure do. We have 2 of those classes, and those are always full. And Miss Moore, the director over health science, does a good job in all our schools. So yeah, we have a good program there, and then and we also our cosmetology stays big. We have a good group of that. So and I'll be, this is we have males and females and everything. Our one of our best small engines mechanics is a female, and she gets right there and loves to work on stuff. So, we have lots of stuff for everybody. So, if you have a desire to do something, we have something for you.
That's so great.
We're all about the girl power.
Yeah, I
Because we've
understand.
seen them.
Yeah.
I saw them on the tractors. I've seen them welding.
That's
and,
right.
And I
That's
think that's
right.
what's great. And hopefully you can bring that girls can camp back.
Yeah,
Because that
yeah.
was kind of a neat
That was
thing
a great camp.
to bring them
Yeah.
in.
We-
And and I love that. Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do now.
That's right.
Any student.
That's right. And and we hold them accountable. Somebody does something, we just don't say you're a girl, so it's easier, or we don't say you're a boy, or it's easier, whatever we're doing. We try to make sure we got a skill to do it. You got to do it.
That's great.
And the farm is also a great place for the JROTC competitions where they have the obstacle course. That's always fun.
We do.
That
We
is
sure
a real
do.
fun one. You make the course and then they come down and run on it.
That's
and climb
right.
through
That's
it.
a big deal. We have so many things going on. It's just it's unbelievable what we have going on a daily basis.
That's fantastic.
That's great. Well, we want to thank you for everything that
Thank
you're
you
doing
guys.
for
This
our
is
students.
that went by really fast. I could talk all day. It's
I
so
know
much.
we
Yeah.
could too, but we're out of time. So that's I'm going to play the music here as we get leaving this podcast, and hope that we see you next time and on Learning Leading Now. Thank you so much, Mr. Meredith.
Thank
If
you.
you want more information, go to the website.
You can look us up on our Facebook page, or call the school, or look us up on the website.
Right, lots of programs for your kids. Sign them up.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.